A pleasant good morning to you, our viewer. This is a breakfast show that comes to your set every morning from Monday to Friday, where we bring you nothing but the best of what is happening around in current affairs, in politics, in sports, in entertainment, in business, and in many other sectors. And today on a Friday specifically, we look at the business segment of the breakfast show. I am your host for this morning, Prudence Chota. Definitely every Friday I am joined by a beautiful lady, but unfortunately today I'll have to be alone with you, of course, the viewer. I know I'm not alone. I know I will be accompanied by you, and we are going to have a great time today. Great topic of discussion, great guests. Keep those questions popping up, keep those questions coming. If you can't call through to our lines, you can send a message via Facebook. We are also live on Facebook, so you can send a message through Facebook. You can also send a message to the numbers that will be on the screen. Today we have a very important topic of discussion with regards to cooperatives. We know a lot of people are asking questions with regards to how you form a cooperative and how you sustain a cooperative. We once discussed this topic on this program, but it's like we never exhausted it because we received overwhelming calls from our guests wanting to know more about that. But before I preempt everything that I have to say this morning, we are going to go to exercising. I always emphasize when I come on this program that it is always important to exercise for you to keep fit. Remember, you only have one life to live, and you have to live it knowing that you are fit. You cannot do your daily activities when you are not fit, but exercising makes you fit. So even this morning, we are going to go in our morning boost.
Camnet viewers, and welcome to our morning boost. I am Isaac Mata, your presenter, and I'm here so that we can exercise together so that you stay fit. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is a warm-up, and then I'm going to lead into a few exercise. Let's go. We'll do a warm-up, and then we're going to do a workout. Start trotting now. Watch me. Let's go. Hi, let's go. Let's do a warm-up. We'll do this for 1 minute, and after that we're going to do something else. Keep doing it, and you can kick. Let's kick and jump now. All right, so we're gonna do the first workout now. Very easy, and this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna do the lateral legs. This you do again for 1 minute. Let's go. Make sure that your leg goes high and straight. If you can't balance, you can hold to something. Keep going. This is very good for your legs. And I'm working on the fats here, the love handles as they call them. Let's push just 1 minute of this workout. For now, our focus is to raise your fitness level. Once we have done that, then we start doing different types of workouts. Go! We'll do this for 1 minute. Keep going. Push. You're almost there. You may feel your legs tough. Last one. Great. Next one now. Same like the one we did for a warm-up. Okay. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. Let's go. After 30 seconds, you do a kick now. Let's go. Let's do some kicks now. Keep doing that. The whole point is to raise your fitness level. Almost done. After that, you're gonna change. Okay. 1, 2, 1. Another minute of punches, same style. When your fitness level is okay, then we go into workouts now. Stay at it. One minute. Let's go. You can do this before you have your breakfast and your shower. After that, you're ready for your day. Let's boost your morning. Go. Let's go. Before you go to school, before you go to the market, before you work, before you do anything, there you go. Let's go. A minute each. Can you hear me, Team Camnet? Woo. Almost there, and I'm gonna change. And I go. It's a low punch now. Let's go. Another minute. Non-stop, no break. You can see me. I don't have a break. One each. And we're almost done with our workout. Let's go. Go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Low punch. You're feeling pressure on your thighs or your punches as well. Let's go. Let's go, Team Camnet. Good morning. Good morning. Wherever you're watching us from, you're done. And a cool down. Woo. Good morning, Team Camnet. Let's do a cool down now. Let's go. You are done for today. Or it is a 5 minutes workout. And that's it. 1 minute of a cool down. Let's go. A bit of a step. Bit of a step. And matching. Matching. Match. Match, 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 match. All right. That's it for today. I hope you have done this. Try this anytime and you're gonna be fine. I'll see you again. My name is Isaac Matsa. Don't forget to tune in.
Thank you so much for still staying tuned to Camnet TV, not just another channel. I am so glad to know that you have exercised this morning. It's always important to do that. I'll repeat, very important. But right about now, without taking much of time, we are going to go to our health corner. It's always important to know what is it that is happening around with regards to our health. Very important. Always remember that the doctors on this program will come to your set every morning, and on Saturday they are in studio to respond to some of those questions you might have. So when you're watching this program, perhaps you might have some questions with regards to some of the disease that we discuss on this program, and you have those questions. Keep them coming, and on Saturdays, the doctors will be able to respond to those questions. But for all those who would like to sponsor this program is also up for grab for sponsorship. So you can sponsor the Doctor's Corner so that we can continue to having the doctors talk about health matters even this morning. So right about now, we are going to go to our Health Corner.
Good morning. My name is Francisca Walia. I'm a medical doctor by profession, and I've specialized in psychiatry, a mental health field in medicine. And today I'm representing the Medical Women Association of Zambia as we create awareness around mental health. During this week, we've been speaking about mental health in general, what mental health is, how mental health can present itself, and we went a step further and spoke about depression and suicide. Today, to wrap it up, we're going to speak on an area that greatly affects mental health in various aspects, actually. It affects people's mental well-being in general. It affects people's health-seeking tendency for mental health presentations and conditions. And it also affects how people with mental health conditions are perceived by people around, and the attitude and various challenges that they experience. And this is stigma around people presenting with mental health. And this stigma sometimes is not only just from the community, but even towards oneself. Very common in my practice, I've found that people presenting with different mental health conditions or issues will actually be stigmatizing themselves. So imagine, first at individual level, a lot of people stigmatize themselves for having a mental health condition or presenting with a mental health issue. Then further, imagine now the person who has a mental health issue and now the attitude of the people around these individuals. What's our attitude towards people who have mental health issues? Are we helpful? Are we supportive? Are we empathetic? Are we compassionate towards them? When one presents with a mental health issue, they already are experiencing a certain level of stress. Then unfortunately, they have to receive that stress from the people around them as well. And we have noticed that in the practice that it has affected a lot of individuals to be able to seek the medical or professional attention that they need at that particular time. And where is this stigma mostly coming from? This stigma is coming about because people lack understanding of what mental health is. And that's why we're trying to normalize talk around mental health, so that most of us can appreciate what is mental health, what causes it, how does it present itself, and also understanding that it can actually affect anyone, even you at this particular point who feels very happy and stable at the moment. It can affect anyone. Having that understanding can be also very helpful. It's because we don't understand what mental health is that we see people stigmatizing. Because when one understands that, okay, mental health in general affects these various areas of our lives, and it's a major component of one's health and well-being, I believe a lot of us, our perception and our attitude will change towards people presenting with mental health conditions. And having a mental health issue or condition at a particular point in life is not a death sentence. A lot of people successfully come out of their different mental health struggles and are very productive and apply themselves well. Others just after different type of talk therapies, which we call psychotherapies, and others there'll be aspects of behavioral therapy or modification, and in other incidents with medication. And we see thousands and thousands of people living well productive life on medication. Let us change the narrative around mental health. And a lot of times a common question I get, are there mental health services in Zambia? Yes, there are mental health services in Zambia. Several. I'll just refrain from mentioning facilities so that I'm not accused of advertising for them. In the public, both in the public sector and in the private sector. Actually, what we've seen is are people requesting for those services? Are people actually opening up and coming out to ask for help? Most of our facilities health facilities, both public and private, actually have these services. And when you request for it, you get the reference that you need, or you get the appointment that you need to assist you. And as MOAZ, which is Medical Women Association of Zambia, this week we decided to shed more light on mental health, to create awareness on mental health, because we believe that this is the first step in this long journey of normalizing talk and health-seeking tendencies around mental health. Thank you for following. Be that change in the community. Be that loving person. Be that neighbor to anyone around you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for still staying tuned. That was Doctor's Corner, and this morning we were looking at mental health. Many other times we make fun of people who've got mental issues. You know, when someone presents symptoms, I don't know if they are symptoms or signs of mental health, most of the times we tend to laugh at them. But today the doctor was asking, do you show them love and care? You know, people who are going through mental health have a lot going on their mind. That's why we are seeing suicide cases are going up, because the people who are supposed to provide some of these solutions are the ones that are creating the problem by laughing at them. Let's be each other's keeper. Mental health is serious. Mental health is real. And if you know someone who's going through that, give them the love and support they need, and encourage them to see the doctors. The Medical Women Association of Zambia is already there, and they've offered their time to speak to people who've got mental health issues. Please be a brother's keeper, be a sister's keeper. Do not laugh at someone who presents signs of mental illness. Even right about now, we are going to look at the money market. Remember, every Friday when we come on set, we encourage our viewer to know what is it that is happening in our economy, and money market is one of that, which shows you how is it that our currency is performing against other major convertibles. If you want to order goods outside Zambia, in US dollar, in rand, in British pound, and in all these other currencies, money market is your corner for you to know how is it that our local currency is faring against other major convertibles. My tech team, let's see how the kwacha is performing against other major convertibles. So the Zambian kwacha this morning is buying at 17 kwacha 24 ngwe and selling at 17 kwacha 58 ngwe. The Zambia kwacha against the British pound is buying at 22 kwacha 56 ngwe and selling at 23 kwacha. The Zambian kwacha against the South African rand is buying at 1 kwacha 17 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 20 ngwe. And the Zambian kwacha against the euro is buying at 18 kwacha 89 ngwe and selling at 19 kwacha 23 ngwe. That is the money market for this morning. We are looking at how is it that the kwacha is performing. I'm quite impressed with the way our local currency has been performing. We are now seeing it at 17 kwacha 24 ngwe. It has gained. If you can't see the gain, remember our kwacha went as far as 18 kwacha per United States dollar, but now it's at 17 kwacha 24 ngwe and selling at, I think, 17 kwacha 56 ngwe, if not mistaken. But this figure, of late, we've seen a bit of stability in our local currency, which is not really bad. You know, the problem is when your local currency begins to depreciate and depreciate and appreciate and depreciate. But what we've seen of late is that our kwacha has been stable within the range of 17 kwacha and 18 kwacha. It has been trending around that figure. Hopefully, we can see our kwacha even appreciate more, hoping to see it go to 16 kwacha or even 15 kwacha. Remember that the new administration promised to fix our economy, and we need to see that reflect in our local currency, and that will be good for businesses. So even right about now, we are going to zoom in one story that made headline yesterday. The Anti-Corruption Commission confiscated properties belonging to the former Lusaka Province Minister Boma Lusambo worth 22.8 million kwacha as part of recovering money that is suspected to have been which is suspected to have been a proceed of crime. We are yet to see where this investigation is going to go. 22.8 million kwacha is what the properties are worth. But remember, I had an interview earlier, I think last month, with Boma and Lusambo, who clearly stated that, remember that I was a minister, I was a member of parliament, and by sitting in parliament, I used to get allowances. Apart from that, I also used to get paid as a minister. If I calculate how much allowances I got from the ministry, from sitting in parliament, it's over 5 million. So how can I fail not to buy property? How can I fail not to invest? Those were the words that were uttered by Bowman Lusambo. But let's see where the Anti-Corruption Commission, SEC, will go with these investigations. But we are going to zoom in that story so that we get to know what is happening. And your comments and views are welcome on this program, even as we go to wait for who the next guest is in studio. So right about now, we are going to zoom into that story.
In the build-up to the August 12, 2021 general election in Batod Kabushi constituency, lawmaker Bowman Lusambo was among those with the perception that Hakainde Hichilema will never govern this country. The lawmaker went to the extent of betting his house over Mr. Hichilema becoming a president of Zambia. Although President Hichilema could not personally get Mr. Lusambo's house after his victory, the Anti-Corruption Commission has grabbed it along with properties worth 22 million kwacha. The anti-corruption body invoked Article 58(1) of the Anti-Corruption Commission Act No. 3 of 2012 to undertake the seizure. According to ACC spokesperson Queen Chiwe, the seized properties were acquired and constructed by Mr. Lusambo using suspected proceeds of crime, and the Commission reasonably believes and suspects that the properties are still registered in another person's name.
Okay, we are here simply because the Anti-Corruption Commission has actually seized 8 pieces of properties that belong to former Lusaka Province Minister, Mr. Bowman Lusambo, and of the 8, we also is included is a subdivision of a farm. All these are properties that are suspected to be proceeds of crime. They have been under investigation, and so the Commission reasonably believe that they were acquired using proceeds of crime, and they were built using proceeds of crime, and so as a Commission, using Section 58 of the Anti-Corruption Act, No. 3 of 2012, we have seized these properties. Yes, the tenants will be asked to leave because we have seized the property. So it now belongs to the state at this particular stage, of course in the process of seizure, not yet forfeited. But the tenants cannot be allowed to stay in them. There will be another notice using the law that will be served on them so that they can vacate the premises.
Mr. Lusambo has several court cases to attend to on his calendar, and one of them being the case slated for 17th May 2022, where the former Lusaka Province Minister and his wife are facing 10 counts of possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime, conspiracy to defraud, and tax evasion. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
That was yesterday's clip from the activity that the Anti-Corruption Commission yesterday carried out by confiscating some properties belonging to the former Member of Parliament for Kabushi. Pardon me, is not former, is still Kabushi Member of Parliament, though we saw what happened in Parliament where their elections were nullified and they did appeal in the Court of Appeal, and the matter is still going on. But it's the former Lusaka Province Minister. The Anti-Corruption Commission confiscated his properties worth 22.8 million kwacha, which are suspected to have been acquired as proceeds of crime. So we are yet to see where the investigations will go, or where the Anti-Corruption Commission will go with this story, because Mr. Lusambo argued earlier to say, don't forget to say I was a minister and I was a member of parliament, and by sitting in parliament I used to get allowances. How can I fail to buy properties? How can I fail to invest? But on the other side, the law enforcement are saying it's not possible that in a period you were in office you can acquire properties to that amount, considering also that there is, you know, the issue of expenditure. So you were spending the resources, of course, that you were acquiring. But we are yet to see where the Anti-Corruption Commission will go with this investigation. But if you have comments, contributions that you have to make, keep them coming through to our Facebook page, and of course by calling this line that is on the screen. But there is a very important topic of discussion that we are going to be having this morning. Remember, a lot of people are wondering, what is a cooperative? How do you form a cooperative? And how do you sustain a cooperative. We've seen the new Dawn government, of course, emphasize the need for people to form cooperatives. But do you only form a cooperative when you want to get resources or something like that? How is it that you go about forming this cooperative? How do you sustain them in case you don't get funding from the government? This is a topic of discussion this morning. And for everyone who's watching, if you have those questions that you want to ask, this is the time to have them responded. So before we have our guests in studio, we are going to take a short breather and we will be back. Stay tuned to Camnet TV.
Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you so much for still staying tuned to Camnet TV. Before we went on that short breather, I did speak to the fact that a lot of people in the country have been wondering, how is it that you can form a cooperative? How is it that you can sustain one? The problem that we make most of the time is when we hear the word cooperative, we link it to getting financing from the government or getting financing from the Constituency Development Fund, which is the 25.7 million kwacha that government says it will be given to every constituency. It's not really a bad thing to wish to form a cooperative to get resources. But what happens in a case when those resources do not come through? How is it that you can raise your own resources as a cooperative? But even this morning, we need to know what role does cooperative bring in creating jobs for the country. We know a lot of people in the country still remain unemployed, and you're wondering, you're sitting at home, and you're thinking, how is it that I get myself to do an activity that will earn me a lot of money? Actually, doing your own thing will enable you maybe get more money than what you get if you were actually employed. When we begin to have such attitude, we will make Zambia a better place to live in. This morning, I am joined by 3 guests, very important guests. We have the Managing Director for SEED, that is Social and Economic Empowerment for Development, Mr. Simeon Kapata. Sir, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, thank you, and good morning, viewers.
Seated next to him is a face that is familiar on set, and that is Mr. Bernard Sikunyongana from the Cross Border Network Africa. He is the chairperson. Sir, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, thank you for having me here.
Yeah, thank you so much. And seated in my far right hand is Mr. Johan, is the Executive Director for Hydrotech Farm Zambia. Sir, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. For everyone who's watching, we are going to allow at one point the phone lines to open so that you can ask those questions that are pressing in your heart, the things that you need to know about cooperative. Those questions, keep them coming. This program is there to respond to some of those burning questions that you've had. I remember the last time we had Mr. Sikunyongana on set, we received quite a number of phone calls, and a lot of people requested, of course, that they have his number at the end of the program. I hope Mr. Sikunyongana, the guest, the viewer, have been able to get in touch with you and ask some of those pressing questions.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much. So we are going to begin by first defining what a cooperative is, and I'm going to throw this question to Mr. Kapata. Mr. Kapata, what is a cooperative?
Thank you so much, and thank you, viewers, for watching. I'll begin by defining what a cooperative is. And before that definition comes, allow me to also say that a lot of people do not really understand what a cooperative is. And for us as Social and Economic Empowerment for Development, a cooperative union, our role is to come and see how we can make people understand what a cooperative is, and secondly, also making them know and understand that through the cooperative initiative model, actually jobs can be created. And our coming here merely is to come and demonstrate how these jobs can be created. I think the guests that you have just introduced, the guests that I have come with, those that we're working with as partners, demonstrating to those who think that the cooperative initiative is an initiative that cannot create employment. And so you asked, what is a cooperative? Basically, a cooperative is a member-driven agenda where people come and agree, they think of what they want to do together, and then they come up with those initiatives and begin to work, as a team, in a group. There's always power in numbers. I'll tell you as an economist that oftentimes people believe that they can work and make it alone. But that is not how it works.
That is not true.
Sometimes it is good to come in big numbers and work as a team. So you may wish to know that as SEED Cooperative Union, our role and our mandate actually goes around the entire country. We are in all the 10 provinces. We have coordinators in all the 10 provinces, 2 in each province, and we have coordinators in all the 116 districts. Primarily, our role is to ensure that they channel this information on cooperatives to as many people as possible, so that we do not have cooperatives that do not understand what they're supposed to do, what is expected of them to do. And for us, we believe strongly that even through what we have done, I think that we have moved miles and we do not work on our own. Yesterday we were in a meeting with the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises. May I take this opportunity to appreciate the Ministry through Honorable Elias Mwanga and the PS who have an open door policy in wanting to work with private sector that want to come and contribute on issues of cooperatives. Therefore, I think where we have reached now, we have reached at an extent where now we do not want to talk about formation of cooperatives, because this is information that has been consumed by so many people. But primarily coming on the board to say, look, as a cooperative for those that have formed cooperatives and you do not know what to do with those cooperatives that you've created, we're here to mention to you that primarily when you form a cooperative, it is not only coming together and say, we want to form a cooperative. Number one, you must ask yourself, what is it that we want to do? What is it that we expected to achieve? A cooperative is a concept where people coming from even those lower communities, they need to be able to believe in themselves, to start with what they have. The biggest challenge that we have is that people think that they need to have so much money in order for them to engage in those businesses. But our message is this to them, that even when government said through the pronouncement of His Excellency, President Hakainde Hichilema, we thank him for his pronouncement because we know that there's an opportunity. Jobs can be created. I think you will see how we're networking with my partners here from Hydrotech and from cross-border. We have done so much together with them. Benefits are already there. Why are we here? To tell the Zambian people that this can be done.
It can be done.
I need to say this very critical point, that look, as a cooperative, when you register these cooperatives, primarily number one thing that I want to ask the people is that, look, according to what the legislation states and according to what the principle states, when people form those cooperatives, they must have an agenda. And that agenda, even when they talk about issues of shares, which they need to put in that cooperative, that has to come from the business concept model, which they want to do. By the way, a cooperative is an enterprise. It's a business opportunity that people should be able to ride and drive. Therefore, it means that people must be able to understand what they want to do. But look, in the country, we know that the uptake in terms of information on how cooperatives, can create employment is something that have just come now. So people do not really understand.
People do not understand because, of course, we are seeing cooperative only come in because the government announced that they've given 25.7 million to each constituency, and part of that resource will go towards cooperatives for those who are forming cooperatives. I think that's why we are seeing now a lot of people rushing to say, let's register a cooperative so that we can benefit from those resources. But let me just hold your thought. Agrotech, can you tell us what is it that you do before I come to Mr. Skunyonganya? Mr. Skunyonganya is not the first time he's appearing on the program, so we are going to get to him, but we want to know what is it that Agrotech does?
Agrotech covers quite a big field in the agricultural sector. It is from initiating projects that people can take on and become self-sufficient and sufficient on food production, obviously, or fertilizer, as well as feed for animals. Okay. We include poultry as well as aquaculture. It is a system that we are bringing in order to make the production cost for the people lower and that they can produce for themselves instead of paying X amounts. Then we couple that now with a training component to prepare the people to do whatever they choose to do of one of the 19 different agricultural projects that that is on display at the showgrounds in Lusaka, at our site, so that people can be thoroughly trained and that they can do even an examination and get a certificate of acknowledgement of the course that they've completed. And then we assist them obviously with trying to find the necessary funding if they don't have it, to get into production and to get into the agricultural market, because this is the strongest point of the Zambian country itself, is agriculture. And then, of course, to supply them with a off-take agreement so that they can then, have a place where their products can go, because that's the biggest problem for the people in the country.
That's why I was getting to this question, but maybe before I come to this question, Mr. Skunyonganya, maybe people might be wondering, they are seeing you for the first time on screen at Camnet TV. What does the Cross-Border Network Africa do?
Cross-Border Network Africa is an organization which is a mouthpiece for the traders crossing borders and many other challenges which they face during doing their businesses. But I want to state that this forum today, we are looking at the production of onion and garlic, being one of the crops which has been heavily imported from South Africa, from China, and we have taken it ourselves to say, why do we continue importing when the country can be able to produce this product? Our partnership with seed is that, you know, seed, you've got cooperatives all over the country. And it's easier for us to ride on that. So whenever they have a gathering, we come in and speak about the production of onion, speak about the production of garlic. You must be aware, I think, that the president during the parliament mentioned to say he does not want to hear the story of discussing in parliament to import onion
and garlic and potatoes.
During the agri-tech, he emphasized to the Farmers Union president to say this is an opportunity. Produce more, I'll find market for you. In case you produce excess and you have no market, I'll find market for you. So ourselves, we feel it's an assignment which we need to go countrywide, and I can assure you the partnership with the seed will make us reach the goal, and that next year we will not even import a single pocket of garlic, of onion, of potato, because we will move and tell the farmers produce. So this forum to us giving us an opportunity. You know, it's not easy to go countrywide, but with our partnership with the seed, with our partnership with Farmers Union, it will be easier for us to speak to the farmers. Zambia, we've got plenty water. And if you look at people who are now running gardens right now, starting this month, they have plenty water, they can produce these products. And that Zambia will no longer now take $12 million, go to South Africa and import. Take $45 million, go to China and import garlic. No, we will not do that. Look at potatoes. Because Buya Bamba also have taken it themselves. And we are no longer importing potatoes. So we want to see also at the end of the day, the good part with the onion and garlic, it's a crop which you can produce, and it's a long shelf life crop. Meaning there will be no fears to say, I don't have a cold room to keep it. No. It's a simple crop, and this is a training we are offering to all these farmers for free.
Okay. Sure. In case you are just tuning into Camnet TV this morning, we are discussing the role that cooperatives play in creating employment. How is it that you can form and sustain a cooperative? But maybe you've wondered how and why most farmers in the countries fail, because we are talking about agriculture being the next backbone of our country's resources. But in many instances, a lot of farmers have failed in the agriculture sector, while a lot of farmers have remained small. You know, they've been called smallholder farmers in a long time. Why is it that our farmers do not grow? I'm going to throw this question to you, agrotech farms. Why is it that farmers in Zambia fail, or why is it that farmers remain small for a long time?
I think the big problem in Zambia, which is a gap now that seed and their partners can fulfill very, very, very effectively, because they are already in all 10 provinces, and they have reached the people on the ground, which we are referring to as a small farmer or a small-scale farmer or a medium farmer, is actually a support network of training, making people understand how to do the things in the right way. And then secondly, of course, is the networking that we require in the field of the agricultural world in Zambia, which can be the biggest in Africa, is to have markets put into place for these people. But I understand that your outlets have to have the surety that the product is going to be on their shelves. And for that matter, a single small farmer, as you earlier said, we cannot do it alone. Nobody can farm alone. We have all these big institutions that it looks like it's monopolies, but they are the only ones that can secure the outlets that the product will be on the market. So with the partnership with Seed and everybody going around now, we are coming together so that we can make the small scale farmers under one umbrella through Seed and its partners, a unity, so that they can start supplying to something like they have in South Africa, you know, their agricultural products to a corporation that then signs up these contracts with these outlet institutions, that they'll be supplying as a unit all the product and ensure the outlet institutions where the consumer get their products from, that there will be product on shelf at all and any given time.
Social and Economic Development, Social and Economic Empowerment for Development Managing Director, Mr. Kapata. Let me throw this question to you. Do you think as a country we do have the capacity to buy agriculture produce in large stock from these small-scale farmers?
Oh yes, I think so. We certainly have the capacity. If you look at the factors of production, you can agree with me that in terms of land in the country, I think it is something that is undebatable. We have enough land, we have enough resources in terms of, the water bodies. We have, enough, people that are interested to get into farming, and this can be evidenced with what my two counterparts have stated. And for us, what we are saying is that through the principle of the initiative of cooperatives, we're here to demonstrate that as Seed Cooperative Union, for those that are watching us, we have partners like this. And look, what they are bringing to offer to farmers, it is a service that is coming at no cost. It is a service where they would want to find legislated cooperatives, groups that are already together, and they understand what they want to do, and then because they understand, they come in even to provide that training for free at no cost. I think that for us, this partnership is a partnership that is going to bring about development. For instance, if you look at cross-border trade as well as hydro trade, through the services which they are offering, these are services where even after they have empowered people through knowledge, transfer, they come and buy, they come and buy the off-takers from the farmers. So you can already see that if a farmer does not know how to grow onion, if a farmer does not know how to grow grass, Hydrojet comes to train people how to grow grass. Immediately the grass is grown, they come and buy the grass. Isn't that employment indirect?
Let me ask this question. We've seen a lot of cooperatives that have been formed, but with time, the cooperatives go quiet. Why do you think cooperatives fail? I asked Hydrotech why farmers fell, but why do cooperatives fail?
As we're discussing this principle of cooperatives, I want to underscore this point to the public, that when you talk about cooperatives, it is not about agriculture alone. Cooperative is a business enterprise, and you'll see us coming here again with other partners that do not talk about agriculture. This is the first show that we're having, and we are demonstrating for those who want to venture into agriculture that the opportunities are there, and they are vast. You ask the question, why is it that they fail? It's a very brilliant question. And for us as Seed, this is what we're doing. Every cooperative that comes and they want to work with Seed, we believe in capacity building. Without capacity building, it is very difficult to make people who do not have an idea of what they want to do, how to sustain what they want to do, how to keep money in what they are doing. It practically becomes impossible to expect these people to produce magic out of that. So what are we doing at Seed? Through our partners, first and foremost for us, we believe that before you even form a cooperative, you must have an agenda why you want to form that cooperative. Identify a solution which you think this solution needs attention in that community setup where you're coming from. And after that, seek for knowledge transfer. I earlier stated that we're working very closely with the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprise. And we had a training workshop which took us 2 days. And look, when we sat with them, we told them that, look, we believe that the only way out is to ensure that we invest heavily in capacity building. When we do that, we know that we're going to reduce the risk. So what we are doing is, as Seed, is that we are training people, telling them what a cooperative is, how they are supposed to invest in a cooperative. Once you do that, I can tell you, moderator, that we're going to have cooperatives that understand what they're supposed to do. We're going to have cooperatives that understand how to spend their money. You may agree with me, I think about a month ago, the Bank of Governor, there was a statement that was issued. If you look at financial literacy in this country, there's much to desire. People do not know how to make use of the little resources which they are making. So as Seed, we're also working with financial institutions like banks. Excuse me. We're working with financial institutions like banks, because we do not want to reinvent the wheel. One of the banks that we're working with, for instance, is not safe. They come on board as we're interacting with these cooperatives. They come on board and provide that training on financial literacy. And in this way, what we are doing as a cooperative union is that we are demonstrating that, look, the opportunities are here. So for those that think that cooperatives cannot thrive in this country. We're here to tell you that cooperatives can thrive. You've heard it for yourself from Hydrotech. They're here and they are saying, are there farmers who want support? If you want that support, we are free to give you the training for free. We can even tell you what to grow. Even when you have grown it, we'll come and buy it off from you. We have, cross-border here, who is also saying, look, there's an opportunity now on the demand of onion and garlic beginning next year. Do you know how to do it? We do not know how to do it. We are bringing them to, and they'll be able to train you for free. From there onwards, you'll be able to know. Do you need machineries for you to be able to use, for you to grow? We have Saro that we're working with. We have, they are here, they are also saying, are you legislated cooperatives? Does SEED know where you are found? If they know, then we are free to even come and give you our machineries for free. Now, tell me, moderator, is it true then to say cooperatives cannot create employment in our country? I think that is a hypothetical question for those that do not have the information. But for us who have the information, we're able to tell you that, look, it is possible cooperatives can create employment. And I also want to correct one notion. You stated earlier on, for the benefit of viewers, that look, government, stated that there's 25.7 million through,
Constituency Development
Fund. You may wish to know that that grant is a grant that has been apportioned to go and meet various needs. I don't know if you've taken time to look at the amount of money that has primarily been allocated to go and meet the needs of cooperatives. Here is what we believe as SEED. If it is possible, government should not rush and start giving these cooperatives money before these cooperatives are able to demonstrate that they are able to do something on their own. If it is possible, a cooperative should come on the ground and be able to say, we're a cooperative group, and we had to put our monies together. Whether it is a 5 kwacha, whether it is a 2 kwacha, whether it's 100 kwacha, we are making fritters, we are making popcorn, we are making this and this. The support that should be able to come from government is support that should only come and help them to move from where they are to another step. We are saying government cannot manage to provide all the cooperatives that have been legislated. By the way, do you know how many cooperatives that we have in Zambia?
Give us the number. We want to know.
Over 82,000 cooperatives. From the time that His Excellency, we thank the President. Why are we thanking the President? Because the President now, he has made us to realize that there's an opportunity. We never knew that there was Hydrotech. And look, this relationship and this partnership is making us now begin to venture into agriculture because we know where to get these opportunities. We never know that we had Hydrotech. we never know that we had cross-border. But through the pronouncement of His Excellency, these opportunities are now opening up. Now, it is up to the people to make use of these opportunities because there are companies that are demonstrating and are saying, we're here to give you things for free to begin with. So what is it that we need as the people of Zambia? So I think that is what I can be able to say. If it is possible, let every cooperative be able to demonstrate that they are able to do it. If they are able to do that, then it's easier now to work with a cooperative that is able, that has shown that demonstration, that they have the knowledge on financial management. They have the knowledge on how to manage that business. Then we will be talking as a nation that indeed here is where we are and jobs are going to be created.
Important undertaking there. What you mentioned is very important because we've seen in the past where people form cooperatives for the sake of getting resources from the government, and immediately they do that. With time, the money disappears because they didn't know how to manage their finances. There was no financial discipline and stuff like that. So it leads to a lot of that. This is a very important topic of discussion this morning. Mr. Sekunyongana, you just, I think in a month time, launched a scheme called the Onion and Garlic Scheme. We want to know the update of the scheme that you launched.
You see, moderator, this is something which even ourselves, we never knew that people surely they are more interested. They want to make this money, which we've been taking all the time to South Africa. They want to see us producing here. The 500 trucks we are sending all the time to South Africa, want to send it to Katete, want to send it to Choma. Let people they make the money. And I will tell you to say, from the time we started, this month on 29th, we are having a field day. The first ever field day on garlic, we want to invite all of you. What we are saying is something which is happening. And I want to assure the nation to say, come next year, we will not talk about importation of garlic and onion. Because farmers now are cleared. Farmers saying, where have you been all along? So things are actualized. As I have said to say, our partnership with SEED has helped us to reach a lot of farmers. And most of the time you'll see my phone sometimes is able to accommodate some calls. Everyone is saying, we want to go into it. I can assure you that next year we will not talk of the importation of onion. And that will create a lot of work, a lot of employment. Because when you talk of job creation, it's about us, the private sector, helping, coming in, tell the farmers. Look at when we started with the FISIP. Zambia used to import a lot of maize from Zimbabwe. But from the time we started FISIP, are we importing maize?
No, we are exporting.
We are now exporting. We want, and this is an assurance, I want to applaud, recommend the President for the statement to say he's ready to support what we are doing in terms of if we have more production, excess production, he's ready to support us. It's an encouragement word. And I can assure you will create a lot of employment in Zambia through this outgrower scheme. Our target this year is 5,000 farmers. Those 5,000 farmers, they will have employed 2 people. Next year we talk of 10,000 farmers. Those 10,000 farmers, each one will have employed 2, 3, 4 people as they increase the hectareage. Are you telling me that they will still be crying of employment in Zambia? Answer is no.
Definitely not. We do see a lot of farmers complain to the fact that agriculture is expensive. When you look at how much we have to buy the imports, the fertilizer and stuff like that. Agrotech, how is it that we can make agriculture cheap and of course make resources out of it? We know that fertilizer is becoming a problem and expensive for a common man to afford.
Moderator, yeah, and the whole nation at large. Once again, we have SEED pulling us in as a partner to them. We are now reaching the people with the right information. You know, what is most vital in any operation that you do in life is you have to create a security boundary wall behind you. If you would, first of all of us stand a chance to fail. So first things first, we have to assure that the risks that we face has been eliminated as small as you can possibly get it to. And within these partnerships that has now happened under SEED, Hydrotech has the component of livestock and crop insurances that is being dealt with at our offices at Arcades with our in-house PIB brokers present there every day of the week to ensure that if somebody does venture into a project and something does go wrong, that they have a boundary wall against which they can lean, which is the crop insurance and the livestock or the project, the agricultural project insurance that they can get there. It's a minimal amount that they pay, but if something goes wrong, there's a hand of safety that they can remain in production. So that we can have a situation created in our agricultural market where there is a sustainability and a continuity secured. Because giving money to people is a very strange thing. You have basically, we cannot just go and give out money to people. The situation is like this, it's going to end up in the wrong places. So also you cannot come to a poor person or to the new corporates that are forming and say to them, listen, there's a project that you can do, but they're only going to reap the benefits in 9 months' time. How is this people going to survive? So we are basically, by just giving money and giving just a long-term project, we are giving them now a situation. From our side, we are giving it to them, that they are forced to start dipping their hands into the funds that's meant for the project and meant to create, as our SEED partner here says, to create the job opportunities that's so much needed in the country. So coming to the point that our cross-borders partner here says, is that we are going to start now to export. We have all the capacity in Zambia to do export of any product, whether it's poultry or fish, or whether it's feed, animal feeds. I mean, we have countries across our borders like Kenya and Namibia and Botswana, and these countries that are driven by a disease that I would like to call it drought. Even here in Zambia, we have grass now for our animals, but in the next 2 months, most of our region is dry, and there's no feed. Now with our partner Seed coming on board, they are reaching the people to make them aware of products and solutions that is in the market that can secure even the job opportunities that there is in this opportunity that the President, His Excellency, has just done for the country, is to bring the people together and take and expose the technology that's already existing in Zambia. It's not that we have to find new technology, it's on the ground here. We just have to commercialize it between the participants in the agricultural market. We have fertilizer being produced at the showgrounds on site. Today, if you have to use chemical fertilizer, your cost input per hectare on fertilizer, you look at between 6,000 and 8,000 kwacha. Then we are not even talking about these poor people that are far from towns where they can get the stock. They have to travel distances to get hold of it. It becomes more and more expensive. We are making an organic fertilizer. Right there at the showgrounds is a demo situation that farmers can do. And I'm not talking about manure. I'm talking about a proper fertilizer of 127 different plant growth and fruit forming enzymes in that fertilizer. By using that fertilizers that we right here produce, the import product sells for 5 kilogram, over 80 kwacha now. By us, it sells for 140 kwacha for 40 kilogram. And that brings your fertilization component in your agricultural sector to less than 4,000 kwacha a hectare. And it shortened the period of production as well with a higher capacity of your plant. We have panar seeds that we have planted in the Millis, for instance. We have shortened the production period on the research center with us with 1.5 months. Tomatoes by day number 36, you can start doing your first harvest. Chihuahua that most of the people in our country eat, which is a fast vegetable product, within 12 days you can start harvesting. Now with our partnership with Seed, and we being part of them, we have the access now to get these products to the people. Mainly, as I call on all these financiers and the government themselves through this funding, I think a good solution to make sure that people's jobs are secured, it's not a temporarily thing, that the projects goes onto the ground, that they are sustainable and continuous, and that they bring a healthy income to the people, not putting them in a worse position after 4 or 5 months, is to give this funding provided, as Seed has mentioned, into a short-term income element, and then an element of a medium income, and then your long-term project, so that the people becomes independent and self-sufficient from their projections to supply them what is needed on the table.
Okay, important aspect there that has been brought out. We know a lot of farmers are complaining over the price of inputs, over the price of fertilizer, but it's high time we started thinking organic. Organic fertilizer does work for production, and if you want to keep that production, you need to look to cheaper solutions that can give you good yield. We know the issue of climate change is getting to the toes of many farmers. So let me throw this question to Seed. How is it that you are educating the cooperatives about climate change, and what measures are you putting in place to contain some of the disasters that come along with climate change?
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. I think that issues of climate change are issues that all of us have noticed, and that we have seen the impact that climate change is bringing. And the only way to find a way out of this is to come together as different players, different partners, to find solutions on what can be done. I can tell you that we have resources in this country that is not harnessed. We have enough companies in this country where people do not know that these are companies that can help us to get out of the challenge that we're having. We cannot underestimate the challenges that the climate change has brought. It is interesting, even through this show, to have a partner such like Hydrotech that is talking about organic fertilizer. So meaning that when people begin to think of use of organic fertilizer, it means that the issue of reducing the time harvest comes into play. So indirectly, we can see that we can find a way and a mean of trying to get around this. Issues of climate change are issues that are affecting us. And that is the reason why for us as a cooperative union, our advocacy to the people out there is that let us not just focus on one product. As earlier stated, we are here and primarily focusing so much in our discussion on issues of farming. Why? It is as a result of us having partner with us who are here and they are looking into agriculture. And we are here to tell the people to say, for those cooperatives, and by the way, it's not only cooperatives that we're representing, there are also so many groups that are formed in the communities. All these groups, if they want to get support, let them come through SEED. We have coordinators in all the country, the districts, and the discussion that we'll be having with the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprise. It's a ministry that would want to work with so many private sector. Thank you to the Honorable Minister, Honorable Elias Mwanga. We appreciate him for his proactiveness. Look, what we need is a society where we're able to network. What we need is a society where groups that have been formed, cooperatives that have been formed, they are able to know where to go and get the service. If we go it that way, we will not concentrate only on planting, maize, because we know that we are under this serious climate change issue. So what do we need to do? As cooperatives, it's a business. Let's begin to think of other, kind of businesses that we can be able to venture in, so that at the end of the day, we're able to see a benefit that is going to come. I'll tell you, about 3 weeks ago, we were in Choma. We had a symposium in Choma, and we're grateful to the Honorable Minister of Southern Province, and his administration. They were there when we had the symposium. All the 15 districts were represented. And I can tell you that after that meeting, we had so many partners that were there. We had Hydrotech was there, Cross Border was there, AfriSeed was there, SEEDCO was there, and some partners, SARO was there, CAMCO was there. Look, we are not working on our own as a SEED cooperative union. And some of these partners made it very clearly to these people to say, if there are cooperatives that are agriculture-based, we're here to support you. Because you are with SEED, we can help you how to start. So if you want us to help you on how to start, come and tell us through SEED that we want to begin. And in the next 3 weeks from now we have received overwhelming support now from Southern Province, where we'll be visiting district by district with these partners. They will be training people, those who want to be to venture into agriculture, those who want to venture into other fields. We are moving with them, and we'll be going district by district to provide this education with them. Do you know what we're looking at? After this, we believe that after we are done with this show, this program in Southern Province, we're anticipating that we'll create more than 5,000 jobs, because people will now get into agriculture. They will be planting onion. They will be getting organic fertilizer. They know where to get it. SEEDCO is there to give them the seed if they want to get into other type of cropping. So the Eastern Province is also calling. They want us to go there and engage those farmers. From Eastern Province, we've been Central Province, and primarily for us, our focus is to cover the entire country. We want to bring all these cooperatives and groups together, so that at the end of the day, they can know where to get the support.
Let me just cut you and ask this question. A lot of people wonder how much resources you need for you to start up a business. We know you've talked about a lot of businesses that cooperatives can venture into, not only agriculture. So let me throw this question to you. How much resources do you need to start up a business?
You don't need any money for you to start a business. Money is in the mind, is in the brain. All you need is information that should be able to, at the end of the day, translate to you knowing how much you need. But surprisingly, do you know what happens? Most of the times, we come up with this business plan concept, we need this, without really a full understanding. I'm not saying that everyone, that's what they do. But primarily, if you look at the majority of our people, for instance, on issues of cooperatives, people will tell you, we need capital. You need capital, yes. But if you sit with them, for us who are technocrats, for us who are experts, when you sit down with someone and then you hear them, they will say, I need 10,000 for me to start a business. Sit down with them, listen to them. You will see that I think there's information gap in these people. So instead of laughing at them, begin with them by giving them skills. And the skills that SEED is giving, these are skills that we have sat together with the Ministry of SME. They are skills that are going to be standard. And once you give these people the skills, then they begin to realize that in fact, they need to start on their own with that 2 kwacha which they have. Surprisingly enough, someone will tell you, I want to start a business, but I don't know. I don't know where to get the money. How can you thrive in a business if you cannot manage to do a business with the smallest amount of money that you have? I think that we are missing it. As a nation, I think our message is this, as SEED Cooperative Union. Let us start using this model with what we have, with the knowledge that is going to come, and from there onwards, then as government come, then they will be able to find us somewhere. And in fact, if you see, is it the role of government to be giving money to all the citizens of Zambia? No, certainly not. The role of government is to provide services. Services that are going to make people flourish in their agriculture, settings. Services that are going to make the people who are into, cooperatives to flourish. Services that will make people to have a very good, environment for them to be able to do what they are doing. This notion that we have, thinking and waiting for government to come and give us something for us to start businesses, it's not going to help us. How many are we in our country? We're slightly over 17 million. I may not be very good with my statistics, about 18 million or so. Are we sure that government is going to come and give money to all the cooperatives that have been formed? Is that realistic? I think what is important, if it is possible for us as SEED, we are saying, before government gives any support to a cooperative, that cooperative should be able to demonstrate that they are able to run a business. Secondly, instead of giving money to a person who does not know and they have no record, on financial management, how they are going to make use of this money, government can come and work with partners such like SEED, such like, a Hydrotech and many others, Saro. If a cooperative wants a machinery, a peanut butter production machinery, instead of giving this cooperative money, why don't they go and procure that machinery and give it to this cooperative in order for them to start production? In that way, we will be now saying, as Johanna had mentioned, we will reduce the risk of corruption. We will be protecting people's jobs. We will make these people, at the end of the day, receive that support that is going to make them, not only them. Remember, we have a generation that is coming after us. What is it that we are doing now that should be able to make this generation that is coming to see change in our lives? I will end by saying this to you. His Excellency has done his part by telling us, the people of Zambia, that form groups and work in groups. Should you need help, help is going to come. I think the Excellency not knew that there are partners, there are a lot of stakeholders around that can provide the support. By me saying this, please, do not quote me that I'm UPND or I'm this party. I'm not. We are non-partisan. We are non-political. We don't talk about politics. We only talk about development. And this is what we are saying. Every project that is implemented under a country, if it is operating under what government is advocating for, then it's going to thrive.
Correct.
That is the reason why we are recommending His Excellency. We are saying, Your Excellency, thank you for telling us as the people of Zambia that we can make it, that jobs can be created, through cooperatives. Let us forget this notion of saying, until you have this white-collar job, that's when you can make it. That is not true. We can make it even without having a white-collar jobs. Hydrotech is here. They are saying they are looking for people who are together, who have come together as cooperatives, and they want to support. If cross-border, they want to support. If you ask them, are you charging people to train them so that they know how to farm? They are not. But these people are not there. So through SEED, wherever you are watching us from, we are calling on you that there's something that we can be able to do for you in order for you to be able to be a better cooperative model. In order for you to be a very good club. I think this is the message that we're having, for the people of Zambia as a cooperative union.
Okay. Thank you so much for that elaborative explanation of all you need in order for you to begin a cooperative. Right about now, we are going to take a short break and we will continue with other discussions.
Oh, we celebrate. Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned. We celebrate. For all you've done, Lord, we give you all the praise. Oh, we testify. We celebrate. Lord, we give you all the praise.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned.
We celebrate. For all you've done, Lord, we give you all the praise. Oh, we testify. We celebrate. For all you've done, Lord, we give you all the praise.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you so much for still staying tuned to Camnet TV. This morning we are talking about the role that cooperatives play in creating employment. And of course, how is it that you can have resources to start your business? You are a cooperative and you do not know where to start from because you formed a cooperative and you don't have resources. And we all know that a lot of cooperatives and a lot of people who venture, for example, into farming fail, and sometimes they remain small for a long time. You can't be called a small-scale farmer for 5 years. 10 years, you're still a small-scale farmer. What is it that you are doing wrong? So we've discussed some of those in case you're just tuning in to Camnet TV. And this program is equally being streamed live on Facebook. I've seen some of the comments that are coming through. But in case you've got a pending questions, you can just call through the number that is coming. We are going to pick your number and we are going to direct it to the relevant people to answer to some of those questions. But again, of late, we talked about the issue of climate change and how is it that it is affecting the agriculture sector. We've seen a lot of people lose out on their produce and they decide to quit. Sometimes quitting is not a solution because there is always a solution to some of the challenges that we face. But in our country, we know that the intake of insurance activities have been low with regards to that. And how is it that it can do for a business? When we think about insurance, most of the time we think about insurance of houses, of our cars and of stuff like that. But we do not also realize that it is important to ensure that our crops are insured. So to talk about that, we have Mr. Tafuna Tembo, who's the Managing Director for Performance Insurance, who's joined us in studio this morning. Sir, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, thank you.
Let's talk about insurance. When people hear the word insurance, what is it that we are talking about?
Okay, so for insurance, basically insurance is a risk transfer mechanism. In the sector of agriculture, you find that once somebody plants, or maybe they are into livestock, like poultry. What is the risk there? There's a risk of losing the chickens or losing the fish because of theft, and that is the risk that is transferred to an insurance company. So meaning if anything of that sort happened, the insurance company will actually compensate the farmer so that they can still remain in business. So when you look at insurance in a broader sense, it's actually the transfer of that risk in terms of farming. Even in terms of agriculture, when it comes to crops, you find that sometimes you have favorable rainfall, but sometimes you have a drought, you have floods, and these are things that affect agriculture, and we cannot run away from them. So if a farmer or a cooperative invested money in the farming project, and because of floods, drought, and disease in terms of livestock, insurance comes in to actually compensate so that they are able to continue in business. This is why in the formation of cooperatives through seed, cross-border network, and hydrotech farms with so many members, they've thought, how can people continue and survive in business, especially in the agriculture sector? How can they survive? We cannot remove insurance from that sector because it's a very vital role that insurance companies play in this sector. Yeah.
Important. So how is it that the farmers can have their crops insured, and what benefit does that bring to their produce? Like, for example, let's talk about farmers and other people who are doing other businesses.
Okay, so for the farmers can insure their crops, different crops that they are farming. What we actually look at is the sales value of that crop. How much retention, how much money was this farmer supposed to make out of it? I'll give an example of poultry. We also look at how much will the farmer sell these chickens for, you know, once they are ready for the market. Yeah, so you find that in case those things like predators happen on the ponds, those who are doing aquaculture, so you find that in case there are those unforeseen circumstances, when these people have been insured through the respective cooperatives, through seed, through hydrotech farms, through cross-border network, these people's money is protected. Even when the government says the CDF form cooperatives and those monies are given, there should be insurance to secure all the projects that they're actually undertaking. I must mention that we are not only looking at ensuring the agriculture projects that they are venturing into. We are also ensuring the farmer themselves, all the individuals that are actually registered with these cooperatives and their family, they get to have insurance. They have life assurance, they have funeral insurance for their family, they have got a medical managed fund, and they also have a benefit through seed and hydrotech, the partnership. They have a benefit of a bursary for their three of their children at school. So we're not only looking at the crops, but we're also looking at the life of this farmer and how well can insurance play. How best can we play the role as insurers in this market. So with so many cooperatives around, we are also looking at that. And this is the very first time that actually insurance is also considering and also insuring even the aged. You find that most of people that are registered in the cooperative, sometimes you find that they're above 65. And in a normal environment, you not have a person above 65 on an insurance policy. But because of these people are our parents, these people are grandparents, and they're also people that need to be taken care of. So you find that with the registration of cooperatives through seed, cross-border network, hydrotech farms, we give an opportunity for every farmer to be counted, for every farmer to have those benefits.
Important and interesting elaboration there. Due to time, unfortunately, we will have the guests that we had today. We will organize another day that we can bring them in studio so that you keep those questions. I know we've had to cut some calls due to the nature of the things that we wanted to talk about, but we will have them in studio again so that those pressing questions that you have can be answered. So even right about now, we are going to take a short breather and we will be back. Stay tuned.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much for still staying tuned to Camnet TV. We had a fruitful discussion and we had our guest earlier, and we were looking at cooperative. How is it that they can form cooperatives, make resources, and get a benefit out of that? How do you sustain a cooperative? But of late in our country, we've seen a situation where when mining activities, for example, take a toll in a certain area, we do see a lot of natural resources getting destroyed and stuff like that. We all know the situation on the copper belt, and we know stuff like that. And as a country, if anything, we need to start promoting a self-sustainable way of doing things in order to ensure that we safeguard our resources. But in studio, I have been joined by a guest who's, of course, going to introduce himself to the viewer. But I know he is Mr. Eugene Mulenga, and he's from Sunrise, and he's a trustee there. Mr. Mulenga, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning to you, Prudence.
When people hear Sunrise, they might be wondering, Sunrise, what is it? Tell us about your organization.
Okay, Sunrise is an advocacy think tank that obviously advocates for policy as well as attitude change towards sustainable use of natural resources. And our focus is to see that the people that are most affected by those decisions made get involved as decisions are being made.
Okay, interesting. You have mentioned that you are a think tank who advocates for policy and attitude change. What exactly do you mean when you say policy and attitude change? Maybe someone who's just watching might be wondering, what do you mean?
There's so much, there's a mention of policy and attitude. And as an organization, we have identified that there is this gap between policy, or we do not have enough legislative laws to govern especially the issue of the social corporate responsibility, which entails the benefit or the investments leaving some benefits in the communities where they're operating from. And we're also emphasizing on the attitude change, because we believe that we all have to put in something as communities, as well as the investment that is there, and of course with the government providing an enabling environment for investments to flow in our communities.
You've mentioned a very important aspect that have come to light. We do see investors come in our country, make huge sums of money, but when you go to the area where they are making huge sums of money, there is nothing that they are doing. In fact, the road that even leads to some of where these investments are taking place are really in a deplorable state. And of course, people are not questioning why that is the reason. So now this brings me to my next question. Can we really achieve a win-win situation for businesses, the community, and the environment? And how can this be achieved?
Yes, it is very possible to achieve the win-win situation. And for us as an organization, we feel we should be there to provide this bridge, or to be a conduit of communication which has been lacking, and that is between the communities, the government, as well as the investor. And as Sustainable Natural Resource Empowerment Initiative, we feel obtaining the win-win situation requires to do some kind of research and also education and stakeholder engagements where you put together the government, the community, as well as the investors themselves, so that we understand specific roles that we're supposed to play, and also the investors being told or being made aware of the fact that they too have a responsibility towards the communities where they are serving. After all, the communities are the victims in this case.
They are the ones who suffer.
They are
We
the
know
ones
what
that
is happening
suffer.
on the
Yes.
copper belt. I hear
On the
people
copper
say that when you cook beans in Chingona, beans does not get cooked.
Yes, because there are issues to do with pollution, and it's the people that are in these communities that are facing all those challenges. Not just water pollution, there is also air pollution, there is noise pollution, and all such kinds of things that tend to affect our people in the mining communities negatively, socially, as well as economically. and it also plays a part, especially on the environmental degradation.
So do you have any projects that you're currently running?
Yes, we are running a project now dubbed Community Engagement for Responsible Business and Environment. And our focus basically is to raise awareness and also get submissions from community members in obtaining what we are terming the social economic contract that we feel the investor coming should subscribe to, enshrining in it what it is that the investor is ready to give back to the community. We are saying, socially there are so many things that we do not have, like social amenities. We want an investor to commit themselves to creating social amenities, as well as other initiatives that are aimed at building capacity to the local people or the local communities, establishing skills centers, vocational centers, where we can train the young people into being proactive. And also, there should be a deliberate program from the investor to create a local business development component, whereby deliberately they decide to invest huge sums of money in the local businesses that are existing in these communities, so that our communities can also benefit economically.
You have mentioned that you are a think tank and you are advocating to ensure that people who invest equally do community works. They don't pollute our environment and stuff like that. But maybe someone who's just watching, this is the first time they're hearing about you. Why Sunray? Why should people trust you?
Sunray is obviously coming with a certain background, and the people behind the whole project of Sunray have, the competency that is required. And no wonder there is the word think tank, because we put a thought to whatever that pertains natural resources. And we look at the policies that are governing the sectors, like the natural resource sector. And from there, that is how we develop our projects.
Why should communities trust you to win or to make a win-win situation for them?
We do not have the monopoly of wisdom as an organization.
Okay.
And this is the more reason why we are going into the communities to get community submissions. Communities also, they have certain things that they aspire for. They've got their expectations. And according to the locations of those communities, the needs are also dynamic. And we feel if we tap into the communities, get their wisdom, and then put it in one document that will speak to the community needs, then we shall achieve something that the communities themselves will be part and parcel of. We are saying now that we want decisions, especially in the extractive sector, to be made in consultative process, where the community members themselves are involved as and when decisions are being made about investments in their areas. And for us, there are historical issues, especially for Chingola and Chilabombwe, where the issue of the liquidation. And our hope as an organization is that government soon resolves the conflict between ZCCM and the data resources. And we want investments to flow. There is a lot at stake right now. The jobs of our brothers and sisters there are at stake, because the mine needs investment as soon as yesterday, because any time the mine can collapse. And it is our view that government needs to quicken the process of bringing the investor in the mines, so that all these things we are talking about can come to being fulfilled.
Yeah, of course. So the question, or rather what we should position, is what is it that the community should do in order to support you? What role does the community need to play? We know the fact that communities like Chidabomwe and Chingola, the ones we've talked about, have had issues. They've got issues of pollution. There is the vendetta issue that you've mentioned that is going on with KCM and everything. So what role now does the community need to play in order to ensure that what you're championing really comes to fruition?
That's the more reason we've gone back to the communities. The program has been rolled out, and we are in the community to get submissions. We basically want to learn from their experiences and how best we can change the narrative, considering that we have this history that we need to change.
Okay. So how many people have you so far engaged?
The target has been engaging over 13,000 people. And we started with the leadership because we want to work with the local leadership. We've engaged the WDCs, we've engaged the councillors, we've engaged basically the top district leadership. And now we are rolling the program to community members. And we believe it is from these community members that we are going to get a substantive views that we hope to put in this document.
Most of the time when people come up with an initiative, you'll find that the challenge that they face are the leaders along the way. Because we know that Zambia has had history of leaders sometimes getting some benefits from these investors. So anything that they see contradicts with what the investor is trying to champion becomes a problem. We've seen this in the past. So how is it that the leaders can help you as well ensure that what you're advocating for really takes place?
I like right now the president is talking about the moral aspect of our being, and he's calling on the morals from our leaders as well. And the thing of leaders going behind people's back and getting kickbacks is what has led to such situations. And we like the fact that the leaders that we have now have welcomed our program. And we hope that together with them, we are going to have a successful, program. Going forward, we believe that we'll be able to achieve community needs.
Most of the investors would think you are a propaganda. Where are they coming from? Who's supporting them? Who's funding them? They might think maybe you are here to disturb some of the investments that are taking place. So I would like to find out who's supporting you, who's funding you.
We are self-funding, and we have certain well-wishers, individuals that believe in our cause, and it is a just cause. I think we have nothing to hide, and speaking from that, I think people should be able to trust us, because this is one thing that we have believed in for so many years. I've been working around these issues to do with the extractive sector, and going with that experience, we know that there are these gaps that we need to fill as an organization, and we want to speak to this. We want to be a bridge, that is bringing or linking the community, the investor, as well as government, because we believe these are key stakeholders that need to be in agreement. Because when we may talk about an investment coming, but if that investment is not welcomed by the local people, there are so many negatives that come with those kinds of investment. And we believe that an investor should develop goodwill from the people. That way they will be able to protect the assets of the investments. That way we are going to see that we are going to have a motivated community that is ready to work closely with the investor. So we want to bridge that gap that has been existing, and we also want to see a situation where the investor is engaging the local communities in establishing some kind of investments. We want to have something that is sustaining. They may do CSR, but if CSR does not speak to the needs of the community, then we are not achieving anything. So we want to see a situation where the social corporate investments is done in communities in consultation or in agreement with the needs of the community. That way we are going to see that there will be, the communities will be capacity built. We are not looking at, an investor just giving donations or money. We want the investors that will come up with initiative that are going to transfer skills in our people, that are able to, capacity build local businesses, so that, they may also create employment and the economic activities in our towns to thrive.
You are very right. We've got a situation where when we see investors come in, when they go with all the knowledge that they came in. They've invested in Zambia for 30 years, but when they go with all the initiative that they go in. Maybe as we come to conclude the program, apart from we know we've mentioned Chingola and Chilawongwe, what other places have you identified where you are and where you are working? Is it just on the Copper Belt, or you are everywhere in the country, looking at the fact that you are you a new organization?
We have been in existence for so many years.
For so many years.
Yes,
so which areas are you covering currently?
Chingola and Chilawombwe they are more like a pilot project because there are historical issues, and here, by the way, in Lusaka you have Nampundwe, and we are looking at the natural resources. So natural resources are not just in the extractive sector. There are also other natural resources like land. There are trees. There's an issue of mukula and stuff like that. There are issues to do with the foreigners getting the land. But our focus, as at now, is on these areas where we feel there's this gap. And we are looking at what led to the communities being discontent with the investor. And these are issues that we want to address now, to say, okay, let's take now this proactive role by getting community submissions, so that when the investor comes, we are going to show a document, a socio-economic contract to them to say, look, these are community expectations. So not just that, we also want to manage the expectations of the community members, because some may think that it is the responsibility, for example, of the investor to buy mealie meal. But there are certain things that the investor cannot do, because they are also coming to make a profit. But in so much as they do make a profit, we also want them to see to it that they invest back in the communities where they are exploiting the minerals.
Very important. That's SANRE. It's a think tank organization that is advocating, of course, to ensure that the natural resources in the country do not go to waste, do not get wasted by the investors who are coming in the country. And of course, in order for them to achieve their goal, they are going to need cooperation from the community. The community will need to cooperate with their organization. I know we were not taking phone calls because we wanted to give them an opportunity to offload what is it that they have to say. But in case you have questions that you would like to ask, or submissions, or how you want to be part of the fight against ensuring that investors equally do corporate social responsibilities, you can get in contact with Camnet Television, and we are going to link you to the right people. We are going to link you to SANRE. Otherwise, we end the program this morning. Thank you so much for staying tuned. For those who joined us on Facebook, I saw the questions that were coming through. We've seen those questions, of course, and we've seen some of the submissions that have been made. For all those we were with, we are so glad that you stayed with Camnet TV throughout this program. Remember, the program comes to your set every Monday to Saturday in the morning, and we allow you to make contributions. Keep those contributions coming. For now, from me, Prudence Chota, and of course from my guest who I had in studio, it's bye-bye until next time.